Here is the brutal truth that nobody's told you. Women instinctively divide guys into three categories within 5 seconds of meeting them. And those three categories are fun, friend, and failure. And I'm going to explain how this process works. So I highly doubt that humans are actually actively analyzing and drawing boxes and putting faces into them. That's not quite exactly how humans work. But the way it works is it's all subconscious. It's all done within the hindbrain. And I'll explain exactly what each of these three categories mean. I think it's better to start with the failure category because I feel the fun category is so small. I think this is the one we need to address. So this category is when a guy is deemed a creep. Guys who end up in this category are usually poorly socially calibrated, are physically unattractive, or are just the kind of person to keep escalating with a woman or approaching women in inappropriate locations or not being able to read the room, i.e., avoidance signals that show that the woman's not invested, but the guy keeps pushing, thinking that he's still got a chance, when in reality, he's just self destructing, he's self sabotaging. And I feel that guys in this category, it's quite obvious to know if you're in this category. If you're socially, calibrated, even if you're slightly neurodivergent, I feel that 90% of the male population will know instantly when they're in this category. Now, obviously, you remember there was usually a creep who would stare at women or who was actively repulsive and people actually try to avoid him. This category is exactly the creep category. And I feel that when you're in this category, you can't get out at all. And I don't really advise trying to migrate anyway from category to category, but in this scenario, this is where the issue comes. That 50-year-old builder who catcalls women, for example, he's definitely in this category because most likely he has a big belly. And also, of course, the vibe he gives off could be creepy as well because while looks are a part of it, it's not entirely looks. So I think that if you're in this category, the best thing you can do is work on your own value and improve. But yeah, honestly, I sincerely hope that nobody ends up here because obviously cancel culture and woke culture means that now anything can be deemed harassment, even if that wasn't the intention. So yeah, we're going to move on. People in this category don't even get the friend zone, which is infamous. They don't even get any kind of connection. Maybe a call to the police if you're unlucky. So we're going to move on now. The next category I want to discuss is friend. Now, this is the category where most guys end up by default. It's like, well, he's a nice guy, but I just don't feel the spark. Usually, the main reason for this is obviously could be lack of physical attractiveness, but usually it's just a lack of kind of, what do I call it? Status or appeal. Now, status in this sense isn't necessarily about your clout or your fame or the number of Instagram followers you have. It's more about how you present yourself. For example, you can be a celebrity and still behave low status. There's rappers, streamers who act like total idiots and yet they still get loads of followers, but they don't get any actual respect. And a lot of these guys actually end up in divorces, losing half their stuff because the respect that they get is all transactional. They don't elicit genuine desire from women. There's no organic desire. It's not that they want them, it's they want the money and the clout. And then, of course, the moment something bigger comes up, they'll just chase the next bit of excitement because the women don't actually want to be around them, but rather like the clout. But, anyways, I think we're going a bit off topic now. So, this category is where the jester maxes end up. A lot of guys make the mistake of trying to migrate from friend to fun. Now, I understand that a lot of relationships started as friendships, and the nuance that I can accept is if the relationship started as a friendship and naturally developed with no exterior motives, yes, I can respect that. Not all connections are going to be fireworks from the start, but what usually happens is the guy has a sniper mentality. So he's got his eye set on one girl, which for starters is terrible. The concept of having a crush should not really be a thing once you're an adult. I mean, crushes are for teenagers and children, not grown adult men. But anyways, off that, and I want to focus more on what this means. So, like I said, most guys, sniper mentality, focus on one woman, hope that she likes him back, obsessively texting, double texting, triple texting, waiting all day for a response. She's flaky, or she takes him out on dates, but she has no intention of taking things further. And this usually stems from, like I said, weak frame, low status, or just simply not being her phenotype, or whatever it may be. Poor grooming is another factor. And I just want to say that it's never worth trying to migrate from the friend zone to the, boyfriend zone. Like I said, it can happen naturally, of course, but you should never be like waiting on the sideline, hoping for her to give you a chance, because number one, you're being dishonest to her and yourself. Number two, women despise it when guys do that. They always know that people are doing that. And three, it just eats away at your pride because you know you're not the first choice. And for this reason, loads of people or couples end up divorcing because they don't marry their first choice, or should I say top option or best option. A lot of women end up settling for like the third or fourth choice, not even the second choice, because there's like a priority ranking that most people have when evaluating mates. And a lot of the time, the first or the second option isn't available. So at any given time, they usually choose a third or fourth. But yeah, like I said, jester maxing and trying to migrate, it's not worth it. And speaking of the term game, a lot of people misunderstand what the word game means. Most people think the game is about riz, or about trying to change your mind, being like a dancing monkey, or just doing like silly pickup tricks, purposely taking ages to respond, etc. But guess what? It doesn't work. Instead, you should just be someone who's busy with their life, so they naturally sometimes take a while to respond. But if you're on your phone, just answer. There's no point playing these stupid games, and it's childish. Women can see behind it, and so can other men. So yeah, honestly. And I wanted to talk about a specific problem that guys have. Most guys are trying to win a woman over. They're trying to do all this extra shit. They're trying to prove their value. They're trying to negotiate genuine desire. Blah, blah, blah. They're trying to sort of be funny, trying to make jokes, etc., doing these stupid tactics. But what they don't realize is that genuine desire can't be negotiated. And let's say, yeah, there was a woman who was making you wait ages. Let's say there was one woman that you were targeting. So let's say you somehow did manage to convert that flaky, medium interest woman who did take you out on dates, right? By the way, women do take guys out on dates they're not attracted to, but I'll talk about that some other time. And you somehow do manage to convert her into a high interest woman. It's never going to be the same as someone who was into you from the jump. And like I've said before, if we're looking at it like a business, like I said in one of my previous videos, it's way higher ROI to just choose a woman who chooses you from the start, instead of just trying to migrate categories, because we both know a tale old as the time, it doesn't work. Trust me. Trying to jester max, guys do it out of fear, because they fear being rejected by any new women, so they just cling on to one in the hope that she changes her mind. But truth be told, you can't really truly change her mind. And even if you could, it's not worth it. And finally, the fun category. Now, obviously, the fun category means that the woman genuinely desires you. She sees you as a genuine option, or more than that, you're literally her best option. And when you're a woman's best option, it's extremely easy for you. Like, you almost feel that receptive energy. You'll feel that she wants to be around you. You will feel that things will just feel effortless. You're not going to have to do all of this extra stuff. The only game that you're really going to have to do is maintaining masculine frame. And that's really what game is about. Game isn't about pretending or putting on a facade. It's just making sure you're staying in your masculine energy, staying grounded in your mission, and putting yourself first. Sometimes you can put others first, of course, but I believe that you should be your own point of origin. Making sure you hold the highest status position, just having basic social skills. Because game, in the end of the day, is just understanding social dynamics. Understanding that, for example, you don't laugh at a funeral, or you don't wear a big swear word t-shirt at, let's say, a job interview. That's also game. Game is just being aware of social dynamics. It's not really about doing these silly old tricks or, playing hard to get or any of that nonsense. Game is just understanding how to present high status, how to project confidence, and most importantly, just being socially calibrated and not being too awkward. But yeah, that's it. That's it. Your game is tonality, things like that. Who's controlling the frame? That is all the aspects of game. But anyways, for fun, if a woman's truly interested in you, you're not going to have to think about it. There's no guessing, there's no friend zone. You get to skip past all that. Because think about it, if a hot girl was talking to you and trying to make things happen with you, you wouldn't make it hard, would you? Same logic applies to them. They're not going to purposely make it difficult and make you jump through hoops in order to achieve the goal of intimacy or a relationship. So it's important to understand that when you're in the fun category, it's very easy. And the fun category is when obviously you're physically attractive, you have high status traits, you present yourself well, and of course you have good social skills or game and frame. But yeah, pretty much the point of this video was to let guys know that there are three categories of men that women divide you into, and I really hope that you understood what each category means, and hopefully based on this video you'll understand which category you fit into. Like I said, at some point in my life I'm going to do a full breakdown of high, medium and low interest women and how they behave, but for now I'm just going to stick to this. Thank you very much. See you again soon.